Wes Anderson's latest has all the hallmarks of an Anderson film: big, bright set pieces, a huge ensemble cast. But is this one a quirk too far? Let's talk about Asteroid City. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my spoiler-free review for the new Wes Anderson film, Asteroid City. This is streaming now on Peacock, brand new to that platform. It was previously in theaters before that, and features a lot of the Wes Anderson hallmarks that we'll get into here in just a second. But first, let me welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thanks for finding this video. We've got a ton of great movie and TV reviews that you can check out here on the channel, and please consider subscribing down below. Would love to have you aboard there, or just like this video too. That helps the channel out tremendously. So, Asteroid City, all right. Well, before we launch into this specific movie, a little history with me and Wes Anderson. I go a bit back and forth on his movies, and I do think he's been in a bit of a decline lately. I think his peak was kind of the Moonrise Kingdom, Grand Budapest Hotel era. The last movie he did, The French Dispatch, a couple of years ago, I think is his worst movie. So Asteroid City, we can only go up from there, right? Right? But yes, actually we do a bit. But let's get into it. So I mentioned the big ensemble cast. Wes Anderson always has that in his movies, and there's a handful of Anderson regulars here, including Tilda Swinton, Jason Schwartzman, who else? Willem Dafoe, I think, has been in some. Tony Revolori was in Grand Budapest. But there's also people that I think maybe are newcomers to the mix. Scarlett Johansson, was she in one of them previously? I don't remember. Tom Hanks, I don't think was. Bryan Cranston, Edward Norton, he's always in them. Matt Dillon, Hong Chow, Steve Carell, I don't think we've seen him before in any of them. Margot Robbie has a small role. So there's, you listen, you know, he's all about the big ensemble cast, and picking many of the same people over and over again. Jason Schwartzman, I think specifically, has been in all of them, and Edward Norton has at least been in most. But the basic plot here is this takes place over the Junior Stargazer Convention of 1955. This is a retro-futuristic version of 1955, but it's staged here as a play, and then there's also portions of this movie that are sort of the making of the play. That's sort of the wraparound, and we see those scenes in black and white. Ed Norton plays the playwright. And that's, I guess, all I'll really tell you about the plot. So the usual Anderson stuff applies. You know, I said this when I reviewed The French Dispatch, and I'll repeat it. I mean, you can take usually like any one frame from a Wes Anderson movie and know that's an Anderson. You know, based on the color palette, the structures, like the architecture of the buildings kind of thing. You know, he's got a very specific style, and it can be love it or hate it, but as somebody who's, you know, I'm kind of in the middle. Some of them I love, and some of them I just don't feel that same passion about. Moonrise Kingdom, I think, is his pinnacle. That to me is an A+, and that delved into, you know, a lot of interesting characters. There's character development. Here, we really don't get that. There's an alien invasion at this Stargazer convention, and that does lend itself to some interesting moments in the film, but there's just not enough of them, and I'm not sure that the characters develop that much. You know, the Schwartzman character sort of has a little bit of a crush and a love affair on and with the Scarlett Johansson character. She is an actress who is, you know, obviously a part of the play, but she's an actress in the play, and you know, we're blending worlds here. And with that in mind, I will say I think probably the worst thing about the movie is those wraparounds with the staging of the play. You know, look, it was an odd choice that I don't particularly think paid off. None of those scenes really were very interesting. We never really find the, you know, the impetus for them. Like, why do we care about it? Why not just make it, okay, this is 1955, this is the Stargazer Convention, and this is, you know, this is the movie. I don't know why we had to have, you know, those wraparounds with the playwright and, you know, figuring out our motivation for stuff, and you know, the scene towards the end with Schwartzman and Margot Robbie, and Um, there's one part that I won't really give away because I think it is more fun to learn about the stunt casting. But there's one part that I sort of like. One of the actors sort of figuring out his motivation for the role. But other than that, I just thought it detracted and did not really work for me at all in that regard. So I'm not sure if the intended impression was there for me on that. But other than that, look, the humor is a little bit hit or miss. There's some funny things, but mostly it's that sort of quirky Wes Anderson funny nature. There's not a lot of like flat out jokes. The Steve Carell character like maybe is the funniest, but he's very dry and he's trying to sell these plots of land. And I like the retro futuristic feel. I've recently reviewed a few different things with that kind of style, and I do like it. And look, Wes Anderson probably grew up in the 50s. I'm not positive how old he is, but that seems about right. Maybe 50s or early 60s. But, he seems like this would have been maybe right in his wheelhouse as a very young boy about going to space and space camp kind of thing and all of that. And look, I think he writes children very well. I think, the kids here, for the most part, are written pretty well. But the adults are just not. And so this is a very middling affair. I do think it's better than The French Dispatch, but I think it's still among the worst Wes Anderson films. It's certainly visually striking, yes, but I do not think that, like some of his previous work, this will be up for any Oscars or anything, even for like art, design or something, because it is very similar to things that we've seen in the past. So I leave Asteroid City with a C+, and you can see this streaming right now on Peacock if you have that platform. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Dan Reviews It.